Hey everybody, it's Nikki Valens, co-designer of Buttons and Bugs. We're gonna play some more Buttons and Bugs today. How's everybody doing out there? Hopefully we're doing pretty good. I figured we would start kind of partway through the campaign since we've seen some of the other scenarios already in our other streams. So we're gonna start with our first kind of big boss fight of the campaign. Up to this point, we would have gotten shrunken by Hale's enchantment, of course. We made our way across the street into the opposite building, and we got inside that building by going through the walls. And then we came upon a miniature kingdom inside this building that is run by a small person named King Button. So let's get into this. Had some high-lows in chat. Hi, everybody in chat. How you doing? All right. So Button's Arena. There isn't much choice but to be taken into custody and placed in an arena made of a large serving platter filled with old, desiccated food. To your surprise, Button himself jumps down into the arena to join you. I shall fight against these miscreants, he announces. But let's warm them up a bit first. Defeat all monsters is our goal here. So let's take a look at our scenario. We are right here, kind of in the middle-ish. We've got with us King Button off in a corner up the top. We've got an arena sorcerer over here to the right. And we have a rending beetle over to the left, which is pretty scary. We can take a little quick look at the monsters here. King Button there. Not a ton of health, but that 2 shield is pretty intimidating. And with flying and ranged attacks, he's going to be a bit of an annoying thing to pin down. Our arena sorcerer has a bit more health and has some few different effects of being able to spend our elements to get effects against us. So we'll have to be careful of how we do the elements. This is scenario number 5. It's technically the 4th scenario you would play in a campaign, but it is numbered 5 because there is a character-specific scenario before this one. So yeah, our arena sorcerer here has some range attacks, also has some melee, might get up in our face, might shoot us from range, can be pretty unreliable and scary. And then our rending beetle is probably the most scary of these 3. A big, chunky 10 health, 1 shield, and applies wound with all of its attacks. And it will make a lot of attacks as well. So we have to be very careful of this rending beetle. It can take us down quite quickly. But this is a level 2 scenario. So we'd get to upgrade some of our stuff before we have to jump in here. So let's take a look at that as well. How does the enemy's element generation work? The darkness for the mage. That's a great question. Thanks for asking. So just like the elements that we can create, the monsters can also create elements. And how that works is, so whenever an element is visible in our hand or chosen cards or active area, that element is available to be spent once per round. The same is true if the monsters create an element. So for instance, if King Button were to roll the minus action, King Button would create Earth at the start of the round, and that 1 Earth icon would be available for the entire round to be used. And the same is true with the arena sorcerer making darkness. So they might make darkness or Earth for each other to use, but they can also spend our elements if we happen to have them and don't spend them ourselves. So there's a little bit of wanting to try to spend their elements so they can't use them, and a little bit of wanting to spend ours or hide our elements by flipping our cards so that they can't spend ours against us. Great question. Thank you very much. All right. So because we're level 2, we get to choose one of our ability cards and upgrade it to its level 2 version. And I'm not sure if we've seen this much in our other streams yet. So I'm going to go ahead and explain exactly how this works. Each of these cards that my character has has a corresponding level 2 card that is essentially just an upgrade of its effects, or perhaps a sort of retooling of how exactly that fits into our kit. So for instance, Hook Gun, which starts as a attack 2 at range 3 with Pierce 1 and Pull, that ends up becoming Microbots, which is the same range 3, but instead of doing 2 damage and Pierce, it's just an attack 3, so a strict upgrade there. And it targets 2 things instead of 1. And then it'll also allow us to control the target and move them to in a more free-form way than just pulling them. And that's kind of true for each of the cards available to us here. So for instance, we see Repulsor Gun, let us hit 1 target and push them. It upgrades into Flamethrower, which has Pierce and Wound and an area effect. Net Shooter gets some extra damage and applies poison now, things like that. It'll just kind of get better as it goes on. But for some characters, there's a little uniqueness in how they upgrade. For instance, you may have noticed here that Repulsor Gun, it's not a loss action. You can just keep using that attack, but Flamethrower is a loss action. And that actually fits into part of the Tinkerer's overall kit. Is it can use the bottom action of Toxic Bolt, for instance, to ignore the loss icon, which is one way you can use Flamethrower more effectively. And the backside of that, Proximity Mine, also allows you to recover a lost card, although in this case it's only a level 1 lost card. But the upgrade of that would allow us to recover any lost card. So there's a bit of doing different things here. So let's see, what would we want to do against this team of King Button, the Arena Sorcerer, and a Rending Beetle? Well, King Button's shields are pretty intimidating. The Rending Beetle is also quite intimidating, though it does not move particularly quickly, so we could just stay on the other side of the arena from it if we could do something like applying Wound to it and letting it just bleed out over time. So maybe Noxious Vials, which can apply Wound, or Flamethrower, which can apply Wound, could be a good option. Flamethrower also applies Pierce, which could be very useful to us. And then, of course, things like our setting up a proximity trap here, that isn't affected by shields, so upgrading that to more damage could be very nice. But we also need to remember that each of these cards has a B side, and just like the A side gets upgraded, the B side will also get upgraded. So we can always be kind of thinking ahead and thinking about what we want to really be doing. For instance, the loss attacks of Dangerous Contraption, that becomes multiple attacks that all have Pierce. So that could be a good upgrade. Or likewise, the Crank Bow, which has a attack 5 at range 5, becomes an attack 6 that could maybe even hit multiple enemies. So that's very appealing as well. Just going to take a second to read chat here, see if there's any cool questions out there. It's only for a single round rather than all the time it's visible. Characters. Yeah, thanks for the elements. We're still talking about that. Cool. So let's see. What would I want to do against these enemies? I'm thinking maybe Microbots or Flamethrower is a good pick here. Microbots would also allow us to, put them into these traps. I think we'll go with that one. We can open up by just putting these 2 enemies in traps. That seems pretty fun. So we'll pick Microbots as our upgraded card. That removes Hook Gun from our set of cards. And I'll just take all of the rest of these and I'm just going to hide them off on a different screen since we won't need them. Okay, so the other choices we get to make before a scenario starts is also our items. We've got a number of items that are available to us. I'm just going to bring them down in here so we can see them a little easier. And we can focus in on just kind of the bottom section here, get a nice clean view of what those items do. Thank you. So we've got an Iron Nail. This is a two-handed item. Gives us Pierce 2 for all of our melee attacks for a round. That could be nice. I have a lot of range attacks, though. That doesn't really help me particularly. Other side of this card is Rubber Bands. That turns a single target melee attack into range. Again, we don't really have many melee attacks. That's more of a card for like the Bruiser or maybe the Scoundrel. We've got a Tanglevine Whip. That's a one-handed. During your attack, you can spend Earth or Light to add Immobilize. We've got an Earth icon here on our Toxic Bolt that we could potentially immobilize with, so that could be useful. We know that King Button will also create Earth, so maybe that's a decent option for us. We've got a Button Shield. We've fastened some backing onto a button here, and we're just using it as a shield. So that's just straight up shield 1 for the round, or for an attack, I should say. Let's see. Oops, too far. We've got a drop of Power Potion. Classic potion effect. Just gives us +1 to our attacks for the round. A drop of Clean Water allows us to use ice or wind element to remove a negative condition. There are a few negative conditions over on the enemies, but I don't think I'm too concerned about that. Shrunken Weathered Boots, it's +1 to our movement. Or an Old Spring to give us Jump. Now, Jump could be pretty useful, getting us around traps and these obstacles. That's a potential option. A Rose Thorn Knife allows us to perform a Pierce 1 with either ice or earth element. We do have earth ourselves, and Button makes earth, so getting Pierce could be nice. Ooh, a Venomous Fang, though. Oh, but it's only on melee attacks, only applying poison on melee attacks, and again, we're not really doing those. Do like myself some poison, but maybe not for the Tinkerer. A Bottle Cap Helm. During the enemy's attack, treat its plus attack modifier as a neutral attack modifier. Could get rid of a crit. That's very nice, good defense. Or a Sparrow Skull Helm. During your attack, gain advantage. I do particularly like myself a good chance of getting a +2 or a crit, though. That is very appealing. All right, so let's see. We're going to get to have one pocket item and either 2 single-handeds or a double hand. So let's take a look at our hands. Tangle Whip, we said, might be nice. I think Button Shield could also be nice, though. I'm going to go with the Button Shield, just kind of prevent some damage. Let's see, what else do I want? Do I want the Old Spring, or is there something else that we want instead of the Old Spring? Weathered Boots. I think we go with the Sparrow Skull Helm for our pocket item. I'm just going to set that aside just so we can pick our other item here. And then the other one, the Rose Thorn Knife, seems pretty useful. We can occasionally spend Earth to get a Pierce, and the shields on these enemies is a little intimidating, so we'll go with that. So we've got our knife, we've got our shield, and we've got a nice little helm that can give us a buff as well. And we're ready to go here. We're also using the level 2 modifier card, which is right down here. So we can see we don't have a -2 on our card anymore. And in fact, one of our -1s is even a +0 now. So we've put some points into removing our negatives, so we have fewer chances of just outright missing attacks. We've also added a muddle and a heal to self there, so a little bit of protection as well. Looks like we're just kind of shoring up our weaknesses so that we can survive these enemies. So yeah, let's get into this. We've been talking for plenty long now. All right. So King Button can go pretty quick. The Rending Beetle can go pretty quick. The Arena Sorcerer can also sometimes go fast. And I think what would probably be really nice is just opening up with microbots and getting to put this beetle and the arena sorcerer into traps right away. That seems very strong to me. It's even a wound trap there, so that beetle can just kind of bleed out for a while. So I think we'll do one of those. And it'd be nice if we could go before them. And I'm honestly a fan of this trap against these units specifically. So I'm going to go with that. I think that's a good choice. So we're going to go at a 19. Let's see what the enemies are doing. Button's going to be going nice and late. Arena Sorcerer is going to go quick, but not quite quick enough to beat us. And, ooh, the Rending Beetle is going to go before us, though. All right, before we get into this round, I'm just going to take a quick look at chat, see if there's any fun questions out there in chat land. How do we know which cards are upgrades of which? That's a great question. It will be on the back of your character card. It will indicate which cards are which, in case you can't tell on your own. Although a lot of them should feel pretty obvious when you're looking at the effects. They'll feel like upgrades to the effects that you already have. Very good question. Tinker might be the favorite character. Has some good upgrades in Gloomhaven 2. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with the Tinker. It plays very differently from how it did in Gloomhaven 1 because, of course, that was a very support-based character. And here, as a solo game, we needed to find ways for it to, interact with the game on its own. So we kind of took the idea of it having a lot of cards in its hand and translated that into effects like being able to use your loss actions without actually losing them, getting your lost cards back, or even, where is it? Getting your discarded cards back also is an option. Okay. So yeah, so let's see. Our Rending Beetle is going first. It wants to attack one, move one, attack one. Poor little beetle friend, you are not going to get very far. You're just going to take one step trying to get around this trap before it becomes our turn. So we're going to do our microbots. This is an attack 3 against 2 targets. We'll be hitting the Arena Sorcerer and the Beetle. I think I'm going to start with my attack against the Arena Sorcerer because I see here in my modifier table that I've got just a -1, 0, and a 1. So I'm kind of fine with putting that into the Sorcerer. But against the Beetle, who has more health and a shield, I want to make sure that my attack stays high. And at that point, there's the 0, 0, +2. So I want to hit the Beetle with that +2 instead of the Sorcerer. So we'll attack the Sorcerer with the first part of this. And we've rolled a +1. That's 4 damage to the Sorcerer. They go down to 5. And we get to control them to move 2 spaces. So we'll move them 1, 2, right into that 3 damage disarm trap. So they'll go down to 2 right away. Very strong opening against this Sorcerer. I might be able to defeat them before they even get to make an attack. And now we'll do our attack against the Rending Beetle as well, because this is a target 2 on microbots. So let's see. We rolled the plus again. Wow, we're just gonna fly through this scenario. All right, so that's an attack of 5 against the Beetle. It blocks 1 of it with shield. Goes to 6. But we are going to walk it right into this trap, and then we don't really want it to be next to us, so we're going to walk it 1 more step away from us. So it takes 3 from the trap, and it will be wounded. And I think for the rest of the scenario, I'm just going to try to not be near that Rending Beetle at all, because it can hopefully just kind of bleed out over time. All right, so that's the end of that card. Flipped over to its B side, goes back in our hand, and I still have the bottom action of Net Shooter available to me. It says, next time an enemy enters a hex within range 2, it suffers 2 damage and immobilize. So that's going to go in my active area until it procs. So let's see what's going on next. Arena Sorcerer is going to move and attack at melee. Okay? It wants to move up. It has moved into a space within 2 of me, so it will take 2 damage and immobilize. That's actually enough to defeat it. This Arena Sorcerer went down very, very quick. And of course, that card is going to go back into my hand on its B side. I want to make this scenario look too easy. I did roll 2 pluses to be fair. All right. What is Button doing? Button is going to move 1 space toward us. Because Button flies, it can go right over this obstacle. And that's the end of the round. Very, very successful first round. We don't have any more traps to work with, though, except for that one way up there. And Button flies, so we can't even put Button in a trap to begin with. So hopefully we can get through Button's shields here without too much trouble. Microbots is very strong in this scenario, yes. There is still a bit of balance testing happening with this game as well, so we'll take care of that if Microbots ends up being too strong. We don't want this game to be easy, of course. Okay, what are we gonna do? So this beetle, it's gonna be bleeding. It can be coming after us. I think we just kind of want to get out of here and try to put some damage into Button as much as we can. We do have Disintegration Beam, which, I mean, if I rolled a plus, it could one-shot Button. We're gonna make quick work of this scenario. That's what I think is gonna end up happening here. It's a loss effect, of course, but we can use our ignore the loss icon on the next action we perform. So why don't we try to just take out Button as quick as possible. See how quickly we can end this scenario. Button's going to be going at 43. Our Rending Beetle is going to be going very fast. Oh, it's going to get to attack me. Okay. It's going to go first. So at the start of its turn, it is wounded, so it'll take 1 damage. And then it wants to attack 1. I'm not in range. It'll move up 1. That trap is already disarmed, so it's fine. And then it gets to attack me for 1. Let's see what it rolls. 1 damage. Not too scary, but I do get wounded from it, so that's a little annoying. And it's going to be my turn next. I'll take 1 from my wound. And we're going to step away from the beetle and kind of away from Button a little bit, I guess. If we move down here, we can still hit Button with the Disintegration Beam from down here. So let's do that. We'll try to just not let Button get an attack on us either. And we are going to ignore the loss icon of the next action that we perform. So I'm just going to put that in my active area for now. And we're going to be performing the Disintegration Beam. This is a attack 6, range 2 with a 4 hex line. They're not lined up that I can hit both of them, but we just want to focus on Button anyway. So 1, 2 spaces there, and then a straight line up is enough to hit Button. So this is attack 6. I did say we wanted to end this scenario as quick as possible. Why don't we go ahead and use our Sparrow Skull Helm to get an advantage on this attack even. And we'll see how this goes. Maybe Button goes down in 1 shot here. So I've got advantage, so we get to roll twice on this row. And a neutral or a minus. Well, we'll take the neutral, and that's a 0. So this is 6 against Button. 2 of it gets blocked by shields. Button goes down to 1. And then this card would normally be lost, but we're going to ignore that loss icon and discard it instead, thanks to our effect from Toxic Bolt, which returns to our hand on its A side, or its B side, sorry. Okay, Button is going to go next. Button gets to move 2 and attack at range 3. Button can absolutely get into range. And is attacking me for 2. I'll take 2 damage. And do I have an earth? Ooh, I just hid my earth. It was on the face of my toxic bolt, but because I went before button and flipped this card, the earth icon has gone away. Button does not get to spend that earth to poison me. That's good thinking. You know what's not good thinking though? I could have spent that earth to get Pierce 1, which would have killed Button, but we missed it. We'll come back to it. All right, what do we want to do now? We want to use this A card, Repulsor Gun. It could let us push the beetle away. It could let us just do an attack 3 if we wished. We can also let's see. Button's got some big shields. We might end up rolling our miss next turn, or for this attack. I think we're gonna heal and we're gonna get rid of our wound. That's what we're gonna end up doing. So let's go at 35, which will be before Button, hopefully. Oh, no, Button is going to go very fast and perform shields. And the Rending Beetle is going to continue to go extremely fast as well. They're both going to go before me. Okay, Button is going to make Earth, put up another 3 shields for this turn, and heal 1. I'm going to really regret not using that Pierce earlier. Rending Beetle takes 1 damage at the start of its turn. It is going to move up 1 and attack me for 1. 2, because of the plus there. And I am still wounded at the start of my turn. I'm going to take another wound. And it is definitely time to get rid of this stuff that's happening down here. We're going to heal 2. So up to 7 gets rid of this wound. We're not going to get a card back from the discard. This can only get a level 1 card back, and Disintegration Beam is the one that we upgraded, so can't get that card back, unfortunately, but that's fine. The heal 2 is still good enough. Oh, shoot. I'm not within range of Button. Well, mistakes were made. I guess that's fine. Button's got like 5 shields this turn. I wasn't going to deal damage to Button anyway. We'll just put this attack into this Rending Beetle and just end it slightly early. So attack 3 against the Rending Beetle. 4. That is plenty of damage to defeat this Rending Beetle. Remove it from the map. Easy, easy peasy. I keep forgetting to use my Button shield as well. Whoops. All right, I think it's time that we end these things. So let's make this happen. We're gonna go at initiative 10. Let's see what Button is gonna do. Button's going at 76 and intends to attack us at range 3. Okay. Here's a clever plan. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to use a basic movement instead of the loss action on dangerous contraption. Just a basic movement to move up right next to King Button. And then we are going to perform the top action of Proximity Mine. The next time an enemy enters a hex within range 2, it suffers 3 damage and is muddled. So we'll put that in our active area. And then we're just going to end our turn. King Button is going to go next and wants to perform a ranged attack and wishes to step away from us in order to not have disadvantage. And because it moves into a hex within 2, it takes 3 damage, and that is enough to take it down. Shabam. All right. Nice, quick scenario there. Good use of the microbots and the traps. Made quick work of these enemies that could have otherwise been very strong and very dangerous. King Button will be missed. Rip. F's in chat. F's in chat for King Button, everybody. All right, let's bring all of our cards back. Let's see where we go from here. All right. The crowd gasps as you best Button, bringing him to his knees. I yield, he cries. You've beaten King Button, and so I offer you a boon. What can my kingdom do? We need to get upstairs, the collector offers, to get over to the Crooked Bone. Button nods knowingly. I can grant you passage, but there is one more task I need you for first. Can you take care of a pest problem? Unlock scenario 6, pest control. All right, we're going to take our existing card here. We're going to put that up with our other items. That's unlocked for us a magnetic needle and leftover table scraps. So those might be some items that we want to use in a bit here. Let's see what's happening with pest control, though. Scenario 6, pest control, level 2. You may have noticed Button orates, leading you away from the arena to a door in the back of the tavern. We seem to be getting overrun by bugs recently. Our storeroom has been completely taken over, and, well, I'd like to eat. If you can clear them out, I'll give you access to our dumbwaiter to go upstairs. He wasn't joking. There are a lot of bugs back here. Goal, defeat all monsters. All right, let's take a look at this. What do we got? Ooh, okay, we've got 3 different types of enemies here. Let's go ahead and get their cards out and take a look at what these beasties are. We've got a harrowing infestation, a spitting moth, and a sewer rat. Okay, let's take a closer look at each of these. These are our spooky critters here. Harrowing infestation, 9 health, retaliate 1. Okay. It goes very fast. 7, 16, and 38 are its potential initiatives. It goes faster than like almost all of my cards. It can make ranged attacks that muddle and heal itself. It can make melee attacks that also heal itself. And it can move and make an attack that, if it has any elements to spend, can muddle and do even more damage than normal. But it goes very quick, and that retaliate can be scary. It's a rat, a moth, and another rat. Why don't we zoom in on the art of harrowing infestation here? You may notice that what you first thought was a mouse is in fact a horrid swarm of bugs that is occupying the husk of a rat as a trench coat instead. Very creepy, very gross. Harrowing, if you will. Get it out, please. Yup. It's pretty weird. Pretty gross. All right. We've got our spitting moth as well. Let's see what this one's up to. 7 health and no shield, so that's not too hard to take down. But it does fly and it muddles with every single attack. It can make wind element, and it can attack at range 4 and poison. And then its other actions even have move and either range 3 or also range 4. So it can attack us from quite a distance away. And it doesn't even want to come near us. So that can be pretty annoying. It's just going to keep hitting us with muddle and keeping us from being able to kill the other enemies. It's pretty annoying. And then the last one here, what do we got on this sewer rat? 16 health. That's a chunky boy. It can go very quick, get a shield, 2 retaliate, and heals itself. That's going to be annoying if I can't like just wound it or poison it and leave it that way, because it can heal itself. It can move 3 and attack 3. That's a big attack. Or it can attack 2, move 2, attack 2, and poison. So very chunky and can output a lot of damage. So we're gonna have to do some real work on this scenario. And there's not even any traps in here for us to work with. So we're gonna have to be careful. Harrowing Infestation starts there at 9. Our Moth will be over here. It starts at 7. And a Sewer Rat way up in the back starts at a huge 16. Okay. So something that's unique about this game compared to Gloomhaven and Frosthaven is that each individual scenario is its own self-contained game. What I mean by that is you don't have to remember what cards you've chosen to upgrade or what items you had before you got to this scenario. Whenever you take out this game, no matter where you are, you can just choose what scenario you're playing, you can choose what character you're playing, and you can also then choose what upgrades and items you're going to bring into that specific scenario. So we don't have to stick with our microbots here. We don't have any traps that we can put these enemies in with microbots, so maybe we don't want that card. I mean, the Disintegration Beam is quite strong. We can potentially hit 2 things for 6 damage. It's maybe a reason to still keep that around. And even if we can't control them into things, hitting 2 targets could be strong still. But I'm going to go grab the other cards, and we'll take a quick look and see if there's anything we like better. So Hook Gun is the downgrade of microbots. Gas Canisters, yeah, the attack 3 to target range 3 is still pretty strong. It may still be a good card to take here. Gas Canister has bigger attack and poison and a bigger trap. Flamethrower has Pierce and Wound and a faster initiative. Noxious Vials, it can wound and disarm something. That's potentially good. Let's take a look at our backs of our cards here. Potent Potables goes from a single target to an AoE. If we could get them to clump up, these AoEs can be very strong. And our heal would strengthen us even. That's also quite nice, actually. Repulsor Gun becoming Flamethrower. The back of it, we could get... we could give our... Instead of just a dangerous contraption, which is Retaliate and Shield, we could have it be an auto turret. The Retaliate would have range 5. That's potentially nice. And the multiple attacks on the loss action to finish something off near the end of the scenario could be good as well. Let's take a look at what Toxic Bolt back is. Proximity Mine. Interesting. Instead of just a 3 damage trap that muddles, we're then looking at a 3 damage trap that wounds and disarms. It does have a heal 3, and we can still get the card back, a lost card back later, so that's nice later on in the scenario. This could be an interesting one. Or there is, of course, Microbots, which we just saw. We know it doesn't get to push anything to traps, but hitting 2 targets is still good. And if we can hit 2 targets with the Disintegration Beam, that's also very strong. I think for this one, we're going to go with upgrading Toxic Bolt into Noxious Vials, though. I like the idea of this trap on the back of it. So let's go with that one. I'll just hide all of these other cards again, just tuck them away. And we'll stick with our Noxious Vials and see how this goes. Do I want these same items? Let's find out there. Now, we don't have button making earth anymore, and none of these things even have shields. So the Rose Thorn Knife really not helping us anymore. So let's get rid of that. Microbot still seems good to you. Yeah. There's options for all of them. I think Microbots is a pretty strong card. What else could we do? We could do, I mean, the Venomous Fang, if I wanted to make a melee attack at some point, could be fine. Honestly, Do I want to make a melee attack? Poisoning the Harrowing Infestation so it can't heal could be very nice, actually. We did also get the Magnetic Needle and the leftover table scraps from that button fight. So Magnetic Needle, that's during your turn, control an enemy within range 5. They move 2. Could be good for setting up AoEs. Could be good for putting them into traps. We don't have any traps here, but it could be nice. Leftover table scraps during your turn, heal 1. Health is always good, and being able to heal 1 sort of whenever you want is a good way to remove wound and poison. And we've got 2 different enemies here that can poison us. I think leftover table scraps is a pretty strong pick. Let's take that as our pocket item. And let's see. Instead of a melee attack, we can use rubber band. We can use iron nail. Those aren't hand items. Those aren't hand items. Oh, we don't have very many hand items to begin with here. Well, we'll take the Venomous Fang. We don't have a lot of great options for our melee, or for our ranged unit here, but maybe we end up wanting to use some poison. So we'll go with that for now. All right, let's see how this is going to go. I think we maybe want to take out that spitting moth as early as we can. It's just kind of hanging out over there. Wait, I still have microbots in my lineup here. I'm not supposed to have two level 2 cards. I'm cheating. We're not level 3. 1 second. There we go. Hook gun. All right. So how do we want to go about doing this? How do we want to put damage into that spitting moth? We could use the hook gun to kind of pull it in and get to do something cool later. We could also just kind of ignore the spitting moth for now and focus on the harrowing infestation. No, I think we want to put damage into this moth. I think we just want to kill this moth as much as possible. Maybe we'll lead with noxious vials on the moth. And let's see, we need to move at least 1 space closer to it. So let's use... The microbots have a mind of their own. Let's use our repulsor gun's movement, I think. That's probably what we'll do. All right. Enemies. Harrowing infestation is going to go to 16. They're very quick. Spitting moth going to go at a 52. That's not so bad. And the sewer rat is going to go at a 3. All right, sewer rat, you definitely get to go first. You're just going to shield and retaliate and heal. Yeah, go for it, bud. You're just hanging out in the back. You're just kind of munching on some cheese or something back there. That's fine. Harrowing infestation is going to move to attack 2 and heal 2 self. It's at full health, so I'm not worried about its heal, and it can't quite get to me either. It could go either way around this obstacle, so we're going to be a little cheesy and have it go around that direction so that we can just kind of ignore it. All right, we're going to move 2 spaces. And let's get up within 2 of it, because we've got other attacks that only have range 2. And then we're going to Noxious Vials. This is attack 2 with poison, wound, and disarm against the moth. We just really don't want this thing to do anything. Oops, I've forgotten to reset our cubes here. I'll do that, and then make an attack. A +1, so this is an attack of 3 against the moth. Oop. And it is poisoned, wounded, and disarmed. That's just so many conditions. That's just an absurd number of conditions. And on the moth's turn, it's going to take 1 from wound. And it's going to not be able to attack me because of disarm, but it'll lose disarm at the end of its turn, and it's still wounded and poisoned. Okay, I think we can definitely take out this moth this turn. And we could even set up this trap so that the harrowing infestation or the sewer rat will kind of get tripped up a little bit and not be able to do much to us. So I think we're going to use the hook gun and the net shooter here. We're going to go at initiative 19. Okay, harrowing infestation is going to go very fast, as per usual. Spitting moth, going to go nice and slow. And the rat, it's going at 41. That's not so bad. So the infestation does get to go first. Ooh, it's going to make a ranged attack at us, though. Okay, so it can hit us. Going to do it for 1. Gets the plus for 2. Oops, I forgot to reset my health as well. 2 would put us down to 10. And it's going to muddle us. That's very annoying. Next is our turn. Do I still want to do what I thought I was going to do? Yeah, that's still the right move. Yeah. Okay, so we're setting up a trap. Next time an enemy enters a hex within range 2, it suffers 2 damage and immobilize. Nice trap. And we'll use the top action of hook gun, attack 2 at range 3. This is against the spitting moth. And it is poisoned even, so this is an attack of 3, not 2. But I do have muddle, so we'll see how this goes. The minus is what we're going to get, even if I roll again. Oh, we'll just roll the minus twice, that's fine. It is a 0 here, though. Our upgrade to our modifier card means that we're working with a +0 as our lowest on this particular row, so that's pretty good. So that is still enough damage to defeat this spitting moth and gets it off the board, so it does not muddle us further than we have already been muddled. We'll lose our muddle at the end of the turn. And the sewer rat is going to move 3 whole spaces. 1, 2, 3. That is just enough to get it within range 2 of us. This triggers our net shooter trap. It takes 2 damage, going down to 14, and is immobilized. Okay, where do we go from here? Now, potent potables would allow us to get a discarded card back. That would be very nice. But we don't have a card that we're going to discard here immediately, because these are all other effects. Okay, now we've started to kind of run out of great effects here. We might want to set up this trap. Oh, here, we've got an attack on the bottom of this card. Yeah, let's do that. That's a decent set of actions. We're going to go at initiative 15. And the harrowing infestation is going to continue to go at 7. And the rat is going to go at 41. Okay, so the infestation is going to shoot us again at range. Ooh, it rolls the +2 this time. It does 3 damage to us. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And it's going to muddle us again. All right. Do we want to put this attack into the infestation or the sewer rat? Sewer rat's got 14 health left. Infestation has 9. But the infestation can heal. What are we going to do next turn? Oh, we're going to have this trap up. We've got potent potables. We could put this attack into the harrowing infestation and then put the potent potables attack next turn also into the infestation and see if we can manage to like take it down before it gets to do anything like more to us. We could try that. So let's put the cryonic snare into our active area, and we'll do an attack 2 against the harrowing infestation there. Sadly, we have muddle again, but let's see how this goes. A minus yet again. Okay. So we are only doing 1 damage to the infestation. Not great. It's going to 8. It can heal. This isn't going to go great for us. Might have to use this venomous fang to get some poison in here so we can try to do more damage. And the rat, it wants to move up to us and attack us. Luckily, it's immobilized from the last turn, so it doesn't get to do that just yet. And here we are, potent potables and dangerous contraption. Let's go at 10. We're going to go at 10. Oh, we're not muddled anymore either. That's just bullying. Oh, the sewer rat, just being mean to the sewer rat. The infestation's just going to continue to roll minuses. It's going to just always be attacking us at range. Oh, neither of them are going to move this turn. Oh, no. Okay. Well, the rat's definitely going first. It's going to put up a shield. It's going to put up Retaliate 2, and it's going to heal itself for 1. Very annoying. And then the infestation's also going before me. It's going to shoot me again. Okay, this time it missed, so it didn't do any damage, but I am muddled yet again. I was afraid that the spitting moth was going to be the one that was muddling me, but no, it was the infestation all along. All right, and it's going to heal itself for 1, back to full health. Not ideal. I'm muddled. Oh, and this is a turn that I could even use this loss attack on the bottom. Do I want to heal 2? Do I want to heal 2 and just put up Retaliate and shield? No, I want to do damage. I want to use the attack. We're going to do it anyway. Potent Potable's attack against the harrowing infestation. Good, a miss. Excellent. We are going to muddle it at least. Do I want to use a loss action to attack 4? I'm muddled right now. I don't think I want to do that. I think I just want to get myself up close so that I can try to do some damage to this harrowing infestation. I'm going to use my bottom action to just move 2. Things are not going stellar for us right now. Okay. I don't want a short rest though. I've got this snare still up, so I'm gonna long rest and hope that one of them will walk into this snare during my long rest. So let's see what they're gonna be doing. Infestation's just gonna continue to roll minuses. Very good. Excellent, well done. And the sewer rat is gonna go at an 80. Cool. Infestation shoots me 4, 0 damage. It's gonna muddle me, but I'm not gonna do any attacks this turn, so I'm not even gonna bother putting the muddle on. And then the sewer rat attacks 2, isn't within range, moves 2 up to me, and this triggers the snare. Next time an enemy enters a hex within range 2, it suffers 3 damage, wound, and disarm. So that puts it to 12, wounds it, disarms it. It's not able to perform its attack to poison me, which is good. I'm going to get to long rest. Let's use my leftovers to heal myself an extra 1, since I'm getting them back right away. And which card do I not want to hold on to? I do particularly like these traps. The trap is working very well in the sewer rat, but it's not doing much against the harrowing infestation because it keeps doing the ranged attack. If the harrowing infestation comes for me, though, this is really nice. I think I just want it to. Oh, I could just set up the trap and pull it into the trap with the hook gun. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. If it doesn't want to move, I'm going to make it move. That's the plan. All right. Someone said something about bullying earlier. This is what we're going to do. We're going to bully them. Unless they walk up to me before I get to go. In which case, I'm going to cry. All right, let's see what they do. Herring Infestation is going to go to 38. It finally does something other than the same range attack. And this one is going to go here. This isn't disarmed anymore. That was from last turn. Oh no, it is disarmed because that happened on its turn. Nice. Ooh, we got 2 attacks off of the sewer rat. Great disarm. Okay, we actually managed to go before both of them, which is great. We're going to set up our trap, and we're going to attack the Herring Infestation for 2. And hopefully don't die, because we're getting pinned in here by these 2 enemies. Hey, there's a ×2. See? We didn't make an attack with that muddle. We get to stay on this row with our ×2, and then we get to actually capitalize on that ×2. That's fantastic. So this is 4 damage into this Harrowing Infestation. We will also pull it toward us, which will trigger the trap that we have set, and that also immobilizes it. Okay, okay. This can go well for us. We can make this happen. It is going to not have to move. It's immobilized anyway. It's going to attack. It has. Oh, I have Earth. Oh shoot! I'm giving it Earth. Oh no. Okay, it's going to make an attack of 3. 3 damage against me. Owie. I'm going to use my button shield because I remembered I have it this time. And it muddles me as well because of that Earth. Very unfortunate. And it is no longer immobilized. Sewer Rat. It's going to start its turn. It's going to take 1 from bleed. It wants to attack me, but it cannot. It's no longer disarmed. Good job, Sewer Rat. Sewer Rat's very tanky, but hasn't been doing much to me so far, thanks to my various effects. Okay. We really need something to die here. We just need these things to go down. So let's go with the good old ignore our loss icon into this crank bow and let's just try to take out the Harrowing Infestation. So we're gonna go at 23. Harrowing Infestation is gonna go at 16. It's gonna get an attack in before we get to kill it. Of course it is. And the rat's gonna go at 41. Herring Infestation is going to attack me for 2. Do I still have this model? Yeah, it gave that to me after I attacked. Okay, Herring Infestation attacks me for 2. I'll take 2. I'm going to have to remember to use my leftovers on my turn. And the rat is going to go after me. Oh, it gets to heal too, though. It's up to 5. Uh-oh. It might survive my crank bow. Hopefully not. All right, let's move 2 spaces over to here. We don't want to be next to it when we make a ranged attack. And we're going to ignore the loss icon on our crank bow. We have disadvantage anyway because of muddle, but ooh, there's a very big chance that this Harrowing Infestation does not go down with this attack, and that is very annoying. All right, let's try it. We got 2 rolls, no minuses. Here we go. Neutral, good. Neutral, okay, we got there. That's 5 damage to the Harrowing Infestation. We've defeated it finally through all of its heals. And we even get to heal 2 for ourselves. And you know what? While we're healing, why don't we take a little nibble of our leftover table scraps as well and heal 1 more. Crankbow is not lost because we have used our Noxious Vials effect. Okay, and we're not muddled anymore either. Sewer Rat takes the damage on its turn. It approaches us, and it attacks us for 3, 4 even. Oh my gosh. Things are getting spicy in here. Okay. These are the 2 cards I'm using, I guess. Both of them have the ability to give us a card back, but I don't have a second card to go with it to take another turn after this. So our sequencing in this scenario has not been good. We could have been doing much better things here. Maybe I should have taken that microbots like everyone said. All right, let's take a look here. We're going to go at 15. Our rat friend is going at 41. Is this an instance where we want to Venomous Fang it to try to just put more damage in over time? Or is the effect of the Cryonic Snare going to be enough to keep it from doing things? I think the Snare is still better for us here. It's already wounded, but it does disarm it for our long rest. And it does 3 damage, which the poison can eventually do that. Oh, I guess it's an attack kind of thing. I think we're going to do the Snare, though. We're going to still play this a little safe here. So we'll move 2 spaces away, and we will set up our Snare. Our rat friend... Oh, wait, did I? I didn't roll a thing for the rat. Okay, it's just going to take 1 damage and then heal 1 from its thing. Cool, great, that's fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and long rest. Hopefully it will walk into my Snare. No, it is not going to walk into my Snare. It is, in fact, going to heal itself instead. Cool. I am going to have to discard my Snare myself in order to have enough cards left to even continue the scenario. Things are looking very not good for us. This sewer rat has continuously just not taken damage. How are we going to do as much damage as possible to this thing? The Crankbow has 5 attack. Oof. So we can do 2 damage with that one. I think we're putting the hook gun down. I think we're doing this. I think this is what we're doing. Yeah. I do get to get my items back. I'm not really at that much risk of dying, but we're definitely having trouble here. Okay. Let's go. Let's see what it does. Oh, it's going to go before us again. It's going to put up shields. Oh, no. And it's going to heal 1 more. Oh, this monster. It's just staring me down. Like, I don't need to kill you. You'll just get too exhausted, and then you'll pass out, and then I'm going to eat you. Okay, well, our Noxious Vials isn't going to do a ton. We're still going to do it, though. It'll put a poison and wound at least. So we've got a trap. Maybe it's going to come try to get near us. And we'll put up an attack 2, see if it does anything at all. I forgot to move this again. Even with the plus, that doesn't matter. It's got... Oh, no, it only has 1 shield this turn. So that does 2 damage. Okay, we did get to do damage. I was thinking of the... I was thinking of a different enemy that gets more shields. We get to poison it, wound it, and disarm it. Okay. We can work with this. Oh shoot, I could actually use my trap though, because it didn't move into me. Which means I'm not gonna have enough cards. We have to discard a trap. This was a bad plan. We should have taken the hook gun instead. And then we've had Crankbow. Oh, this is bad. We're gonna lose. Let's go at 15. Okay, rat, Please roll anything other than the minus. Okay. We need to... No, we can't beat this rat. It's got 10 health left. We can only do like 3 damage to it. We can do 4 damage to it. Maybe, okay, we could roll this. That's 5, 6 with potent potables. We can do 6 damage to it. It's going to take 1 from the thing. Even then, that's only 7 damage. No, we can't get there. This rat's got way too much health for us. We were messing around with the heroin infestation for far too long. We just ran out of time. We can't get there. All right. Well, we bested Button pretty easily, but we can definitely see why they wanted our help with this pest problem here. That was a tough scenario. We could not get this rat out of here fast enough. Rip Tinkerer. All right. How long have we been streaming here? We've been going for over an hour. We did 2 scenarios. How's everyone feeling? Are we enjoying Buttons and Bugs so far? A lot of interesting things going on with these characters, hopefully, to everybody. Show one of the characters we haven't seen and retry it. Ooh. Let me check with my staff here, see if we have time to play the scenario again. Maybe we could do that. What do we think, folks in the back end of our stream here? Are we good to try this one more time? Doesn't look like it. No. Well, maybe for another stream, we're going to check out one of the other characters. Sorry about that, folks. We're going to wrap this up here for today. I hope you enjoyed, though. The Spellweaver, maybe? Yeah, next time we get to play, whether it's me or someone else, maybe we'll get to play that Spellweaver. There's definitely some interesting things going on with the Spellweaver. But thank you all for watching, everyone. I hope you had a great time. I hope that Buttons and Bugs is looking really interesting to you. If it is, go ahead over to the backer kit and you can pick up a copy of this game. It's only $15, which that's a steal. 20 scenarios, 6 characters for $15. That's a great value there. I'm actually surprised by how low that is. I'm not sure what money we're even making on this thing. All right, let's do it, everybody. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you're loving this game. And we will see you again soon for some more Buttons and Bugs or some other Gloomhaven content. Thanks so much, everybody. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.